Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, it is going to be another retro movie review. And we will be coming close to the close of our Harry Potter series rewatch with the first part in the two-part finale, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. So this is the series that we can give credit to for starting the whole two-part finale fad. Because after this, both the Twilight Saga and the Hunger Games series followed suit by splitting up their final book into two-part movies. But I think out of those three franchises, Harry Potter definitely did it the best. But just because I said it does the whole two-part finale the best, does it warrant having a two-part finale? Well, of course, we're going to find out. Before I get into the actual review itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my retro movie reviews. So be sure to check that out and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. The first positive that I wanted to address for this entry into the franchise is that you can tell right off the bat that this is going to be a much darker entry. With the Warner Brothers logo rusting and rotting, Hermione wiping her parents' memory, the Dursleys leaving, seeing how fearful the Malfoys have become of Voldemort, and Harry's last time at Privet Drive. The next positive is just the whole bit where everyone turns into various Harrys. I like how it starts off with a few triumphant little moments, like Fleur Delacour's return, and Lupin and Tonks' near announcement of their pregnancy. The Harry part itself, where everyone is transitioning into the various Harrys, is undeniably hilarious. And then you top it off with an exhilarating chase sequence and the devastation of Hedwig's death. Yes, I know that she was just an owl, but she was along for the entire journey. The next positive is Bill Nye, just because he's Bill Nye. And as always, no, not that Bill Nye. It is awesome that they made him the Minister of Magic too, even if it is for only like 3 minutes and then he's killed off screen. The wedding. It's just great to see all of these characters let loose with everything going on around them. They dress up and have some fun until it all, of course, comes to a crashing and chaotic close. This one feels so much more real, with us spending so much time in the Muggle world. And honestly, it even sort of feels like an action movie at points. I mean, these Death Eaters are trying to hunt down and kill our main heroes. All of them are sort of like hitmen, and the diner scene in particular really helps to emphasize this point. The wand duels have somehow gotten even better. They destroy everything around them. They feel so much more impactful and cause a lot of damage. The colors too are much more vibrant and punchy. You can really feel the power of these objects. They do a very good job at showing just how much reach Voldemort has because he essentially controls the Ministry of Magic. The entire Polyjuice Potion Ministry of Magic sequence is exceptional. It has a little bit of everything and I love it. It's probably the best portion of this movie. The friction amongst our main trio is intriguing as their minds become increasingly affected by the Horcrux, with Ron in particular becoming the most affected as he even leaves Harry and Hermione for a few weeks. I love the truly tense scene where the Snatcher can smell Hermione's perfume but can't see her because of her enchantment. It actually had me holding my breath and it was very well executed. The montage of our trio traveling on foot has some truly breathtaking scenery with a haunting score to back it up, because this is definitely not a joyful journey. But it is a gorgeous one, and this may actually be the best looking Potter film. Harry and Hermione's little dance number is a beautiful and touching moment. That really is among my favorite in the franchise, and although I do definitely recognize that it is a little too late because the series has put so much work into the Ron and Hermione relationship, but I've always felt that it should have been these two that ended up together. Harry finding his parents' gravestone has always been a subtle but very powerful moment. It's then followed up by the discovery of his destroyed childhood home, and that cuts really deep for those who have been along for the entire journey. The old lady turning into Nagini and attacking Harry and Hermione has always been terrifying and actually kind of traumatizing. Also, the destruction of the Horcrux has always been another standout sequence. The unique and beautifully animated tale of the three brothers in the Deathly Hallows is magnificent. The attack on the Lovegood residence and the subsequent chase sequence are also quite brilliant. And then you have the whole final portion in the Malfoy Manor, which of course is concluded by Dobby's death, which is devastating and unexpected. It is truly a gut punch and one of the saddest moments in the entire franchise. The final shot with Voldemort finding the Elder Wand perfectly closes out this part 1 and sets up for part 2. Now, I do actually have a couple negatives with this one as well. The first being the cut Harry and Dudley scene where Dudley says, "I don't think you're a waste of space." I'm not really sure if it's fair to give the movie a negative for cutting something because it's not actually in the final movie, but it is such a powerful and unforgettable moment in the book, and the fact that there is a deleted scene shows that they did actually film it. It just shows me that it could have gone so well, and yes, I understand that Dudley wasn't quite as well developed in the movies, but it is still a moment that I really wish they had included. Another negative, like I had with the Half-Blood Prince, is just that I really do not vibe with the style of these last few movies. Again, it just has such a muted color palette. It's all dark blues and grays and blacks, basic clothing, and locations. Yes, they are very dark and dreary movies, the previous two, this one and the next one, so all of this does fit the tone very well, but that doesn't mean that I have to like it. The last negative that I have is that at the end of it all, this still does definitely feel like a filler movie. Is it a damn good filler movie? Yes, it is. I just listed off a ton of positives, and I really do mean all of those positives. But if you think about it, the entire movie is just them traveling around trying to figure out how to destroy one Horcrux. And they really just don't accomplish all that much, meaning that it just doesn't feel like a complete story. So of course, in that regard, it does work well as a part 1 and part 2 if you watch them back to back, but this movie definitely couldn't stand on its own. And with that being said, it's always been an interesting idea to me, a whole what if scenario, like what if there wasn't a part 1 and part 2, what if the Deathly Hallows, like the rest of the series, was just one book and one movie? How would that have turned out? Food for thought, I guess. At the end of it all though, despite what I just said in my negatives, I do really enjoy this movie. There were a ton more positives than there were negatives. Nevertheless, it is a solid entry, and I will be giving Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 an 8.5 out of 10. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my review of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. While you're at it, feel free to let me know what you would score this movie out of 10 and what your favorite moment from it is. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.